Our spring market is in full swing. Looking at our April numbers, our sales are up over our previous month and appear to be in line with what we had seen in 2023 and our pre-pandemic numbers. April's closings were 1,249 properties. Would I like to have seen over 1,300? Of course, but I think that there's buyers that are out here actively shopping, and that's a good thing for our housing market. Another good thing is for these buyers that are looking, you have a large selection of properties to choose from. Our active inventory has been rising steadily since the first of the year, and our April numbers are over 5,500 properties available. And about this active inventory, there's no way really to sugarcoat it. Our inventory has climbed a lot over the last 18 months, and really this is the highest I've seen our inventory level in over 15 years. Am I concerned about it? Not really. I've been saying for a while that as long as our space industry is strong and we're having consistent rocket launches, we should be in a good position. And then I see this headline about NASA's budget for 2026 looking to have up to a 24% cut. I'll discuss that later in the video on how that could be affecting our housing market. Here are some other stats for April that I like to keep an eye on. New inventory coming on the market. We're slightly behind where we were at last year, but appear to be in line with where we were at pre-pandemic. Price changes are way up over last year. Don't have pre-pandemic numbers because I've only been tracking this since 2021. Days on market, this is another stat I've only recently been tracking. Average days on market for April were 67 days, which was 12 days longer than where it was at last year. We still had some homes that were selling fairly quickly. We had 228 homes sell in 7 days or less. This was 18% of our sales. Average sales price for April 2025 is down compared to April 2024. Average sales price for April 2025 was $424,000 compared to $467,000 just last year. Median sales price is down slightly. The April 2025 was a median of $360,000 compared to $369,000 in 2024. Something I think is interesting. I've been going to some local training events here where there's been representatives from our title company industry, different companies. I've been asking them, what are some trends that you're seeing that I might not notice from the sales side of it? And surprisingly, all of them had said that they see an uptick of potential short sales happening as well as foreclosures that could be coming on the market, which I thought was pretty interesting. So the history of the distress sales I've been tracking for some time, and you can see from 2009 through 2014 is when we had an abundance of them here in Brevard County, probably across the country. So far in 2025, we've had 34 bank-owned properties close, foreclosures, and we've had 4 short sales closing, which I don't think is a tremendous number, but that got me digging a little bit more into our active inventory. Now with our active inventory, I can tell you what's on the market today, but it's hard for me to go back in time to see what was on the market as active inventory and the breakdown of that. So from this point forward, I am tracking it, and here are the numbers. Currently, we have 34 bank-owned properties for sale in the Space Coast MLS, and we've got 24 short sales for sale in the Space Coast MLS, which is a total of 58 properties. Active inventory is just over 5,500 properties, so that means about 1% of our active inventory is some form of distressed sale. I don't think 1% is a overly large number, but from this point forward, I'm going to keep you up to date with what's happening with our distressed sales in the Space Coast. We're heading to the beach to look at the condo sales in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral. To be honest, I've been looking forward to seeing what's happening on our condo market now that we've been through all of the surf closings. The brand new project that in downtown Cocoa Beach had 25 sales happen recently, and that blew up the numbers in regards to what's happening in our condo market. And really, it's no surprise that our average and medium condo sale is down considerably from the last few months. However, I was pleasantly surprised to see the number of closings that happened in April. Actually up over the last several months of closings, we had 42 condos sell in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral. And this is the most that we've seen since September of last year. Something else that's continuing to rise with our condo market in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral is the active inventory. Number of condos that are for sale today are 356, which is the highest number I've ever seen for condos available beachside. We've seen a 32% increase in inventory over the last 12 months, which of course has affected the prices, which have continued to come down in the Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral area for condominiums, probably across Brevard County. Average sales price for April was $423,000 compared to $451,000 last year. Median sales price for April was $377,000 compared to $390,000 last year. A little insight, if you've been holding off on buying a condo with the way our current condo market is, could be a good idea for you to keep an eye on it to see if you find the one that makes sense for you. Let's take a look at the Viera Sundry single-family home market. It's kind of an anomaly compared to the rest of Brevard County. Sure, the inventory is up throughout the county. It's up slightly in the Viera Sundry area, but nothing crazy. Active inventory is 325 homes are on the market. Sales, they're consistent to what we had last year as well. We had 108 closings this past April, and if you do the math, the month's supply of properties available for sale in the Viera Sundry area is a 3-month supply, which is considered a seller's market. The average and median prices are in line to where they were at last year. Days on market, the time it takes for a property to sell, also in line. If you are looking to buy in the Viera Sundry area, just know it's going to be a little bit harder to negotiate price and terms compared to other parts of the county. The average list to sale ratio is 97%. And if you're looking to ask for concessions, there are some that are being offered in the Viera Sundry area, but no, on average, it's about $5,000 compared to almost $10,000 in other parts of the county. As long as you're not competing against another buyer, by all means, try to negotiate better price and maybe some concessions going towards your closing costs. Our overall housing market and trends that we've been seeing here in Brevard County, the Space Coast, been similar for the last 18 months. Inventory has steadily been rising and sales have come down from the craziness that we had seen in 2021 and 2022, but properties are still selling, just not the same rate. Something that definitely has me concerned is this proposed budget cut that NASA has on the table for 2026, a 24% reduction in what their annual budget is. This could definitely have an impact on our local economy and the housing market. When I was a teenager growing up in Cocoa Beach, I remember when the Challenger explosion happened and the impact it had on our local economy. I remember the impact of the Columbia disaster in 2003. I was in real estate in 2011 when they ended the shuttle program, and I saw the impact it had on the housing market and our local economy. I have a feeling this budget cut that they're proposing for NASA could have the same implications. These proposed cuts will have an impact on some of the programs that are happening here, such as the Artemis program, and could have an impact on the employments here for everybody that's out at the Kennedy Space Center that's tied to NASA in some way or form. One thing that's different today versus what happened in '86 with the Challenger, '03 with Columbia, and 2011 with the Space Shuttle program ending is the private sector that's involved with our space industry. SpaceX is a massive presence here on the Space Coast and have regular launches here from KSC. Blue Origin has been working on their campus, and we're anticipating launches from them here in the upcoming years. And hopefully anybody that's impacted from the proposed budget cuts of NASA in 2026 could find other employment opportunities with SpaceX, Blue Origin, or one of the other many private sector jobs that are working out of the Space Center. Just like anything that we deal with, we don't know what the future holds, and only time will tell the true impacts of what could happen. So please let me know either in the comments or contact me directly. Do you have questions about the housing market or maybe an upcoming move? Just know I am here to help. This will take you to my calendar. We could schedule a call, and my contact information is below. My name is Eric Larkin with Real Brokers. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you on the next show.